That looks nothing like Han Solo, though.
Well, honestly...
I angered the Star Wars gods. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I'm Noobs Maximus.
I'm Kryptic Enigma.
And what we're going to do here is we're going to go through the TV spot and the teaser for Solo. Now, she hasn't seen either.
Correct.
I saw the teaser, not the teaser, I saw the TV spot. And there isn't much time difference between the two, so I'm not sure exactly how much more is going to be in one versus the other. We're going to go through them real quick. We're going to give our initial reactions, and then we're going to go through the other one, give our initial reactions, and then we're going to go through more in depth with what we noticed. So, all right, if you haven't seen them, there'll be a link in the description below. Go take a look at them first, just so you know what's going on, so you can, you know, enjoy and not have us talk over it. So, let's go.
So you want to make a difference?
Yeah.
Trust me, you're gonna love it.
That is a nice shot.
And which branch are you interested in joining?
I'm gonna be a pilot. Best in the galaxy.
All right.
She's already going off.
I will admit...
That is pretty.
The visuals are pretty decent.
This looks more like Star Wars.
Yeah, considering Star Wars...
That looks nothing like Han Solo, though.
Well, honestly...
I angered the Star Wars gods.
Honestly, okay. To me, a younger actor does not have to look like the individual they're playing. You know, if the older actor, if they pull it off. So if he pulls it off, it doesn't matter to me, honestly. You know, they can pretend, they can mimic their gestures just well enough that you can believe that they're the same person, no problem. Like, for example, the young O'Neill in
Stargate SG-1.
Stargate SG-1. The person who did the acting for the younger version mimicked his gestures and his postures and his vocal intonations and like volume and fluctuations and things like that. So easily believed that he was a younger version of him, even though they didn't look anything alike. So yeah, doesn't matter to me, like, if they don't look right. But anyway,
my first reaction, I had three reactions first time I saw this. Now I've actually seen this one before, so I have more time to go in detail. My first reaction was, first off, wow, this actually looks good, and that surprised me. I wasn't expecting it to be good. That being said, I thought the shot of the Star Destroyer was just gorgeous.
it was.
But the music just felt wrong.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And it didn't to me feel like in the first trilogy, they felt like they were military. In this one, they did not feel like they were military quite. They were too informal with each other, it felt like. Even, you know, when he was applying for the position, it just didn't feel quite right to me in that situation.
I don't think she means the music. I think she means just the people.
I mean, the people, the actors, the Empire itself. It just didn't feel as firm and as militaristic as it should have been, or it was back in the original. So anyway,
right,
that was my first impression.
Let's load up the other one real quick.
He's rushing me past.
Initial reactions are supposed to be quick.
No, they aren't. They're whatever they are.
Silence.
No. And why the
I've been
guitar?
learning scams on the street since I was 10. I was kicked out of the flight academy.
Nah, I could see Han Solo enough being kicked out.
I'm gonna be a pilot. Best in the galaxy.
Hey, kid. I'm putting together a crew. You in?
Is that Maz?
That's yes.
I might be the only person. Who knows?
thought we were in trouble there for a second, but it's fine. We're fine.
Okay, any and all excitement for this film has since died. He's totally wrong for Han Solo. Everybody else seems fine.
Yeah, he doubts himself too much right now. And I mean, I guess that could be a progression, is where he doubts himself a little bit in the beginning, but then starts to build into the guy he is. But he's too shaky. He's too unconfident right now. Or he's supposed to be a lot cockier, and
he's playing it wrong. Harrison Ford had this way of playing confident, yet you sort of could tell that Han knew he was in over his head, but he was still confident in his abilities.
Yeah, he voiced confidence, but his face said, "Oh, we almost did that wrong.
Yeah.
We almost didn't make it." But like, he had the insecurity on his face, but his voice said, "Hey, yeah, I knew what I was doing, And that kind of thing seems to be missing from these trailers. Or, I'm sorry, what is this? A
This
teaser?
is a teaser.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just, it was weird because going through it was like, okay, guy that plays Lando in the 2 scenes that we see him, in the 2 scenes that we see him, numbers are hard. In the 2 scenes that we see him, he looks like Lando. He looks like he's got the attitude of Lando. And from everything I've heard, the guy that's playing him does a really good job.
Yeah.
But the other guy just doesn't feel like Han. And
he's the primary character. I mean, I could see Han being kicked out of school, like pilot school. I could see that. And it's just,
I don't know, something feels off on this. And
yeah.
It was weird because the TV spot, like I said, the TV spot, you get through it and you're like, all right, this actually looks kind of good. But what was missing in the TV spot was any real sign of Han Solo, except for at the very end. And that was the part where I was looking at going, that doesn't feel like Han.
Yeah, I mean, in the other one, it felt like he could become Han. But in this one, it's feeling a lot more shaky.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that might not be good.
Yeah, we'll see.
So we're going to pause it now and do some more in-depth stuff.
Yeah, we're going to go through this frame by frame because, what else are we going to do?
Yeah.
We'll come back in a few minutes. Okay, we went, oh my god, meticulously. 2 hours of raw footage.
Not yet.
Almost for this that we went
not
through.
Done.
And she's not done. So what we're going to do
Pretty
is...
close, though.
Yeah, we're going to go through and we're going to cover the little parts that do not cover what has set her off. Because her notes are literally both sides of a page, and they are written, this way, this way, this way. And she is going off about lighting and fog and a bunch of other things. And honestly, after sitting here for 2 hours with her to make this intro, I agree with her, but I think it's going to be its own separate video. So we're going to go through the other parts now, and there will be another video of her rant about color or lack thereof in this movie. Okay?
Foggy, cloudy, overcast.
It almost looks like they're having this the car chase scene. First off, the car chase seems very strange and out of place. I mean, it definitely seems like a car chase, but it doesn't feel like a Star Wars kind of car chase. You've got speeders, but it feels more like this could be going on in the streets of 1920 Chicago, and it would fit.
It feels kind of like a death race style race fight more than a, Star Wars thing.
And
when they filmed it, was it raining like the entire time? I mean, really? That's what it looks like.
They filmed the whole thing on Camino, so it's always raining.
But, I mean, seriously, it's like, okay. And like here. Okay.
I told you she had more to say than I did.
Okay. Droids. Okay, fine. lighting, boom, hey, look, hey, we actually have light because there was an explosion. Oh my god, something that's not great. But, like, originally, in the dusty and dirty and grimy in Star Wars was really nice because it made everything feel lived in and worn and things like that.
But everything wasn't always fog or always sand. You changed as you moved from one to the other. The Destroyer and the fog
and the Nebula.
Awesome.
This reveal is absolutely gorgeous, especially with the lightning being the thing. But, again, so monotone. I mean, the lightning does some nice, cool, dramatic effects. The red glow from the new TIE Fighter style is really nice effect.
I think that TIE Fighter is actually a kind of gunship because it looks like it's firing from the second... You can't see because my hand's off here. The second bulb that's off to the side appears to be the one that's shooting.
Yeah. So
she just licked me. Obviously, the character that we're all looking forward to seeing in this movie is the Millennium Falcon. And each of the teaser and the TV spot has a brief showing of Han flipping switches and things like that on the control panel. And for one thing, first off, I had to actually look up the Millennium Falcon control panel because it didn't feel right. It felt like it was an Imperial control panel.
It's just dark. It's all dark.
Yeah, it's very dark. It's very...
like everything else.
I want to say metallic, but obviously it's metallic. But it just had an Imperial feel to it.
But that's the thing. It's matte. There's like one or two shiny things, but otherwise it's like got a matte finish on it, so it doesn't even shine.
Now, one thing that really confused me, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I missed it. If I did, please point it out to me. Since when does the Falcon have a steering wheel? It's never had a steering wheel. It's never had anything like that I have ever noticed, and where does it come from? To see him use a steering wheel just seems very strange and very out of place. And not only that, but we don't really see the Falcon at all. And I know they're trying to hide it so that they're covering up the new design, which would be awesome. If the Legos didn't exist and hadn't been out for God knows how long, showing us exactly what the body design of this is and the color scheme. You might as well show it. We already know. It just seemed like a stupid move on their part. And this looks like the Falcon to me. This looks like a very, very clean and pristine Falcon.
Which is weird because the Falcon is normally the dirty rust bucket. So it looks more beaten up than the Imperial stuff. But now the Imperial stuff seems more dark and dirty and used and stuff. And the Falcon is clean, which...
Now this might not be the Falcon, but it looks... has the feel of a very new Millennium Falcon.
Yes, but it's just... It's almost like things are reversed, and they shouldn't be. You know, I mean, yes, okay, the nice, clean, new Falcon. But this is also their home. So, I mean...
Might not be at this point.
But, I mean, unless this is, like, fresh off of the lines, there should be at least one or two scuff marks on those walls. I mean, come on. They were a cargo ship. You know, they smuggled stuff. They should have one or two scuffs. I mean, yeah, okay, they might be cleaned off, but, you know, it doesn't... It's too shiny. It's too new. It's kind of like the CGI plastic flat feel on it. You know, it just feels a little too new. But this was how clean the Imperial stuff was in the original ones, and it's not.
The other thing to keep in mind was, if this is the Falcon brand new, we're seeing this about 5, maybe 10 years before A New Hope. If this is the Falcon and what the Falcon looks like right now, Han takes absolutely terrible care of this ship.
And it is, like, as far as I know, it's supposed to be older than that.
It should be older, yeah. But that's never been canonly said as to how old it is.
But
The idea is supposed to be, you're looking at like a 40, 50-year-old ship. It actually is visible in the prequels in one shot. Now, whether or not it's the actual Falcon or just another YT-1300, you can go on about forever, but it is actually, there is something that is supposed to be the Falcon visible in the prequels. Now, since we're here, I'm going to talk about the train, because I think this train, this design is just freaking awesome.
it looks like it's Snake. It's a really cool idea.
It looks actually, it's kind of got that little, it looks like the thing in the front is actually kind of like a tread, similar to one of the old Trade Federation tanks. But, I mean, to me, this looks good. And one thing I just noticed staring at this is the bottom half of it, because it's kind of like on the top and then on the bottom. The bottom half has guns. Why does a train need guns?
To protect itself from being robbed.
But they look like they're aimed directly forward. Like there's no turret to turn on this. There doesn't appear to be anything. It appears to be solidly on there. So unless somebody stands directly in front of the bottom half of the train, that's not going to do much. So the fight on the train actually looks really kind of cool. There's about, I don't know, 3-4 seconds worth of this.
And, I mean, they don't really... Choreography is implied to be pretty good, so I'm kind of hopeful for that.
Yeah, the character, there's a scene later on in the other teaser that shows the character. It looks more like a tribal leader.
Yeah, tribal leader or like a leader of a band of bounty hunters, possibly.
And it appears to have what looks like some kind of bow staff axe kind of weapon.
Yeah.
That they're using. I can't tell who they're fighting, though. Whoever it is has 2 blasters, so it could be anybody at this point. It might be, it might not be. I can't tell for sure.
I think in the preview of the other one, it shows it as Han.
I don't know.
He's got the thigh holster thing going on, kind of like Han, so I'm assuming that's supposed to be Han.
It makes sense since he's supposed to be the main character. And like I said, we assume this is actually on the train, so...
Yeah. It kind of looks like it, but, like, I don't know where those wires would be going to.
I don't either.
So it looks almost like they're trying to steal one of the crates out of the train, possibly. And that's them lifting it off and the other person's trying to stop them. As a potential theory.
That's it right there.
Oh, okay. So it looks like it's being...
Yeah, it looks like they literally did pick up one of the train cars, or at least a cargo container on the train car.
Or a cargo container that looks like it could potentially be stored on the train.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, that works.
So. And the, of course, the always needed cantina scene.
Yeah.
Always needed cantina.
This looks more like a nightclub kind of thing, but yeah.
Yeah, but so was the cantina kind of ish. It was kind of a bar with live entertainment type thing, so yeah. And
it actually looks like Groot.
A little bit, yeah. But I mean, let's see, is there anybody else that's obviously non-human? Well, she's got that thing over her and this backup singer, but I mean everybody else looks like they're human or humanoid.
It's Krang!
Yes!
Her backup singer is Krang!
I do not want to hear that.
We see a lot of different characters in this one. The only character so far that looks good is, out of the 2 trailers, you see Lando Calrissian like twice. And the one time you see him is with the droid, which we're assuming is kind of his, because he looks like he's co-piloting the Falcon. And that droid seems to have more personality than any of the other characters combined. Especially when they're sitting there and like, whoop.
Yeah.
That's so cool and such a nice thing to see. But it's weird that the droid characters lately seem to have more personality than the actual people.
No idea who she is. I don't know if I should care.
That actually, I think, is Han's ex-wife.
Okay.
The only thing that I really noticed about Chewbacca was he has 2 bandoliers for some reason. He always only had one. There's this weird 4-armed character in the middle of, just one of the trailers thrown in there. We don't really see anything about that character other than that looks female to me, but she's on screen for like 5-6 seconds at the absolute most, if that, and I don't think it's that. So, yeah, kind of hard to tell. I had to actually pause it in order to notice that they had 4 arms.
Mm-hmm. For me, the theme music, especially the where it says Lucasfilm and it has that
That weird
guitar
electric
riff?
guitar, yeah.
I mean, that I know that's an intro to that theme that they're going for to kind of make him sound like a badass and feel like a badass, but it felt so forced that what was going on in screen also didn't support the whole badass thing, that it just fell completely flat. And
Well, in general, what they've been doing with Star Wars lately, especially with the theme, as you know, for Clone Wars, they took the Star Wars theme and they made it more militaristic. Now, I personally like that one. I thought that was a cool thing. Then for Rebels, they took it and they made it really kind of weird and kind of almost like, all right, yeah, that doesn't sound good. And then in this one, they took it and they did it with an electric guitar. It's come up with a theme that fits with the music style for the previous movies and work with that. That's what they did for 6 mainline movies. God only knows what they're doing with the new ones, but that's what they did and it worked. Stay with that.
yeah, and it just fell flat. It just didn't fit. I'm hoping they don't keep it.
They're going to keep it. They're too far along to change it.
Yeah, but it's like it just didn't work. It really, really, really didn't work. That one scene where he's looking up, kind of, that to me was the only time he really seemed to imitate Harrison Ford's Han Solo. Because it's just, I've seen Han do that kind of thing and then go up, like where he had his mouth closed, kind of open, kind of like he was tired, and then comes up with this kind of like defiant look in his eye. That's the closest I've ever seen him look to the Harrison Ford Solo so far.
He really doesn't look like Han Solo. There's several shots in the speeder chase. There's 1 or 2 in the Falcon where he's making like little quips that you know they're trying to imitate Han Solo, but it doesn't sound like something that Han Solo would say.
Yeah, I might have discussed it when we did the initial reactions, but the Han Solo in the original series, his voice and what he said was confident, but his face was insecure. Or there was something in his body language that made him feel insecure. Whereas this one, his body is confident and his smile is confident, but what he says isn't quite as confident as, what would normally come out. So it just doesn't feel like the same character just because he's not saying the same kinds of things that the other Han would. So.
And it's just, in general, it just doesn't seem like it. Like the very end of the teaser trailer, he turns around and makes a joke. And then everybody like screams, and there's the shot of him, weaving through these big tentacles of something and everything. And I remember watching the scene and going, I'm sitting there going, I should be looking at how pretty this is. And I should have, some form of adrenaline rush for this. But the whole time I'm sitting there going, wow, that was nothing that Han Solo would actually say. That just doesn't seem like Han Solo at all.
Yeah, it's like it's the reverse of what he's supposed to be, It's, not reverse, but, his confidence is not showing in the correct areas.
One other thing for me that seems off is, in both of them, they have Han Solo say, I'm going to be the pilot. I'm going to be a pilot. Best in the galaxy. Now, there's no question that Han Solo was a great pilot. He pulled off some amazing things in all of the movies and things like that. But never quite got the feel that he was supposed to be the best pilot. In the original trilogy, that was always Wedge. Wedge was always the one that pulled off all the amazing things and weird maneuvers. Granted, he was in a fighter or a speeder, not a giant, Millennium Falcon, but never quite got the feeling that Han was supposed to be best pilot in the galaxy. Even in the new trilogy, that's Poe. It's not Han. So that just felt weird.
Even that line, I'm now just going to nitpick how it was delivered. It just fell flat. The actor himself didn't believe it, therefore the character didn't believe it, therefore, it just, no. Just wasn't there. He needed to have some kind of belief behind it, and it wasn't there. It just fell flat. So.
The other
His
thing you wanted to point
uniform
out
does not feel as tight and neat as the ones in the original series. I'm sorry, they did fairly decently, but theirs looked, honest to God, you would not be able to see those Frantic wrinkles right there on his side. A strange thing to notice, but...
The other thing you pointed out on this over and over again is his attitude does not look Imperial. It's too jovial. The entire conversation is like, oh, you're going to love this. And like
the recruiter is very jovial and stuff, which, might be a recruiter.
Right.
He's not the recruiter, as far as I can tell.
I don't know. I don't think so. This doesn't look like the same area.
And, there's plenty of smug in the original series.
But it's a more confident smug.
It's definitely not that smug.
You're hitting on some of the weirdest things.
I know, but it's definitely... It's a smug that's... It's a smugness that is kind of also like he's repulsed by your attitude in the original series, whereas this one is just a smug, haha, that kid will learn kind of thing.
Yeah.
The smugness in this one and the attitudes that have been portrayed by the officers and the soldiers in this one do not fit and feel like the officers and soldiers from the original series.
Just about every Imperial officer in the original trilogy, when they spoke, they kind of had this, it's almost like you kind of expected them to try and touch you and then be like, ew, and just wash it.
Yeah,
they regarded everything as scum.
Yeah, and they just automatically hated you type of thing. And that's not the kind of feeling that you're getting here. It's kind of hard to recruit when you're like that, but that's just how it felt.
Wait till you guys hear her rant on the women in Star Wars 8. Okay, well, that was our review of the TV spot and the teaser for the Solo trailer. We have a much longer review about the color of this coming. Hopefully that will be out in a couple of days.
A review by an artist.
Yeah.
A professional artist.
Yeah, I might have accidentally started something, because when I sat down it was like, hey, let's review the Solo teaser. Oh my god, that was 3 hours ago. So yeah, we will be back with that one. So thank you for watching.
Do not show me crappy video.
Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.